We were told the game was over before we'd even started. We were told our bodies weren't made for it. It wasn't our time to play. We played anyway. And together we played like there was no tomorrow. And they told us that was fine. You can play. You're good enough. And thought that was good enough for us. It wasn't. We are relentless. The game isn't over until we say it's over. Until we get everything we've given everything for. Until we level the playing field.
Lidl, proud supporters of ladies Gaelic football.
You still haven't gone full Lidl. Go on, make big savings like this lot.
Pea nuggets.
Excuse me?
You'd like them pea nuggets.
Once again?
Pea nuggets. They're vegan.
Nugget?
Yeah.
I like prawns, but how do you cook them?
Oh, there's loads of ways.
Can I microwave them?
No.
Join in and go full Lidl this year.
Did you get milk?
Shop without compromise and pay less.
Good afternoon, and you are very welcome to Longford. It is the Lidl Ladies National Football League. It is Division 3 Longford at home to Sligo, and we are live from Emmett Oak GA grounds here in Kilo on a beautiful Sunday afternoon for what is a relegation battle, really, in all but name, as 6th place Longford play 8th place Sligo in this must-win game in the 5th round of Division 3. Let's take a quick check on the teams then. Longford manager Alan Mullen, he's made one late change to the side listed in the match programme. Number 25, Shauna McCormack from Carrick Edmond, is a late replacement in the Longford defence, with Maria Kelleher, the player who drops out. Lauren Maguire, scorer of a goal and 2 points against Offaly in Longford's only win in the competition so far. She partners Emer O'Brien in the middle of the field, while up front, Grace Shannon from Longford Slashers, the county champions, she leads the attack at centre forward, while the full forward line have been getting the bulk of Longford scores in recent games. Clodagh Lohan, Camille Burke and Edel Sheehy, 3 players to watch out for. Sligo, the visitors, well, Anthony Brennan, his squad has been decimated by withdrawals and injuries this season. He's made one late change to the side listed in the match programme. Number 17, Sarah Reynolds from Giva, comes into the half-forward line, with Orla Nyochtan from Owen Rua missing out due to illness. The Sligo squad well stretched through those defections I mentioned a few moments ago, but they will be looking to the likes of Claire Dunn, the fullback from St Farnans, who's been in excellent form, and centre-back Lisa Powell from Eastern Harps, to try and restrict Longford's attack as much as possible. While up front, the team captain Sinead Nyochtan, she kicked 4 points, all from frees, in the narrow defeat to Wexford last weekend, and is certainly a player to watch out for as well. Delighted to be joined on co-commentary this afternoon by Leah Kelly, the Sligo county player, out injured at the moment, rehabilitating from shoulder surgery. First of all, Leah, how's the rehab coming along? I'm sure today is the sort of day you miss being involved. You'd love to be out there.
Yeah, definitely. When you're here, and I suppose a good day like this, and you're seeing the girls out there, you know, you'd love to be out there. But hopefully soon now.
So Leah on the road to recovery. We'll have the pleasure of her company for the next hour or so, and that is how the Division 3 table looks heading into round 5. Louth setting the pace, 12 points from their 4 games, followed closely by Kildare, Wexford and Down. But for Longford and Sligo, the 2 teams we're here to see today, it is a very different sort of battle they're engaged in. Longford, 1 win from 4 games. They beat Offaly by a goal a few weeks ago to get their season up and running. Sligo still chasing that elusive first win. And Leah, we were just chatting about it a little earlier before we came on air. Sligo, you have to go back to the summer of 2021 for their last competitive victory. So confidence, morale couldn't be great. I mean, it's been a tough season. It was a tough year last year, and the panel hit hard by absentees as well. So every game now a big game for Sligo, but with one team being relegated down to Division 4, this is one of those games that Longford and Sligo simply have to win.
Yeah, definitely. It's a big relegation battle here. But I think one of the interesting things, if you look at there on the table, would be Longford's point difference being minus 43 with Sligo's minus 26. So, like, you'd have known Longford for years to be a team that were hard to play against, and they were very set up in their backline. But they've been very open the last few games, conceding a lot of goals. And I think Sligo, while the results kind of tell you different, they only losing by 1 point in 2 of their last 3 games. I think they're building at the minute, and there might be a win coming.
Well, certainly if you are familiar with watching Longford and Sligo over the last few seasons, these team sheets, well, they'll be unfamiliar to you. So many new faces and names. There's our match referee. Not a bad footballer by the looks of things. David Herson from County Monaghan. Nothing wrong with that technique. And David, well, he's the man in the middle as the players move into position. In case you've just joined us, you're watching the Lidl Ladies National League Division 3 Round 5. 6th place Longford against 8th placed Sligo. So much at stake. A lot to gain and a lot to lose on a lovely day for a match here at Emmett Oak GA grounds in Killoe in County Longford. And away we go. Sligo playing in their familiar white with blue and black trimming. They'll play from left to right in the first half. And the first Sligo attack broken down by Emma Doris, the Longford centre half back. Longford let the ball do the work on this first attack. Caoimhe Lohan out in front of her marker. That's the Sligo wing back Sarah Curley. Ball now in the hands of Clodagh Lohan, looking to take Isabella Henry on the outside. Cuts through. She's got pace to burn. Gets her shot in, but just couldn't wrap her foot around that ball. But a very bright start, Leah, by Longford.
Yeah, I think Isabella Henry is going to have her work cut out for her there on Clodagh Lohan, because she's a very nippy forward, very quick.
First possession of the match for Ellen Maguire, the Sligo goalkeeper. Not the greatest kick out in the world. Cutting through here is Grace Shannon on the run. And that is nicely done by Grace Shannon from Longford Slashers, All-Ireland Intermediate Club champions last year. And Grace Shannon looks like she's in the mood.
Yeah, not surprising there. I suppose she's one of those players that Longford will be relying on today. She's a great player.
So the home side ease out in front. They've dominated the first 70 seconds in terms of territory and possession. And here they come again. Edel Sheehy hit a couple of points against Down in the last round. Feeds it inside towards Camille Burke, wearing quite heavy strapping on that left knee. Back to the aforementioned Grace Shannon. Lovely, stylish footballer. Shoots on sight. That is 3 chances for Longford inside the first 90 seconds.
Yeah, coming from Sligo's kickouts, which have been an issue in nearly all their games so far. So I think, and again, losing the kickout, I think it's really important that they settle on that.
Well, Sligo ride their luck there. They got lucky with the break off the kick out from Ellen Maguire as they try to work that ball through the lines and make their way out of their own half of the field. Possession football. Claire Dunn sensibly across to Isabella Henry. Plays her club football with Drumcliff Ross's point. This is Lisa Powell across the halfway line and Sligo on the front foot, but poor delivery. Maeve Casserly had made her run. Ball played over her head and cut out back there by the Longford number 25. That's Shauna McCormack, the late replacement in the Longford defence for Maria Kelleher. Now Lauren Maguire, well, it looked like she was going to win possession. Instead, won back by Maeve Casserly. This is Megan McCormack. Better from Sligo as Sarah Curley breaks the line. Longford get their defence set. Ball sprayed across by Nicola Brennan. Good ball. Just to keep Longford guessing, shot fired in by Maeve Casserly. Referee David Herson had spotted the foul. He was playing an advantage, none coming, and Sligo will get the free. But that was much more inventive and much more promising from a Sligo point of view.
Yeah, definitely more positive, and seeing them being calm on the ball and switching the play and then in the end getting the free. So much better from Sligo.
Shooting chance for Sinead Nyochtan. 4 points from frees against Wexford last weekend, down in Wexford. And she opens her account here after 3 minutes, sides level at a point apiece. And Sarah Nyochtan, or Sinead Nyochtan rather, there will be a lot of responsibility on her shoulders again to get scores. She has been leading the way all season, Leah.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, Sinead has been in the county team for many years. Didn't play last year, but back this year. She's great to have. She was never really a free kick taker for the team, but she's really stepped up, I suppose, when others have been absent this year.
Well, they've had 2 narrow defeats, Sligo, so they have something to work with, something to build on coming in here, and that's Leah Duffy who's kicked them out in front. This time it was Sligo who won possession from the Longford restart. Quick counter-attack, and Sligo lead for the first time. 4 minutes in, and that's their first point from play. And she's been lively, Leah Duffy, in these first few minutes.
Yeah, the 2 corner forwards there for Sligo, Leah and Megan, very, very similar in the way, very fast, both have a real eye for goal. So Longford would want to be careful because the quick ball into them will definitely be on.
Grace Shannon, playmaker in the Longford forward line to Ella O'Reilly. Back to Shannon again. And the loose player not picked up by the Sligo defence, who were just caught ball watching. Longford have numbers here. This is the captain, Caoimhe McCormack. Quick hands, goal chance, Caoimhe Lohan. And there is the game's first goal, tucked away by Caoimhe Lohan. The Sligo defence sliced open at will. Longford had so many numbers. Camille Burke played a crucial role in the build-up. And a hammer blow for Sligo and a dream start for Longford.
Yeah, definitely. Like, Sligo were showing promise there, and I think that's another. Oh no, Claire keeps it in. I was going to say another kick out gone, but yeah, it's a big blow for Sligo, and just worrying how easily they were opened up.
Well, that phrase "too easy" sprang to mind there, because once Longford got in on the Sligo goal, tackles were conspicuous by their absence. Now, what can Sligo come up with by way of response? Nice pop pass to Caoimhe Connor, but her effort just drifts wide. Not a puff of breeze here in Kilo this afternoon. Conditions absolutely perfect, but Caoimhe Connor unable to hit the target, and it is double scores. Longford out in front, a Longford team who have lost to Louth, Kildare and Down in 3 of their opening 4 matches. In fact, heavy defeats against Kildare and Down. In fact, a Longford squad that is unrecognisable, really, to the group that togged out and played league and championship last season. Likewise for Sligo.
Great play from Claire there.
Good defence by Claire Dunn. Slid in, back to Ciara Scanlon. Scanlon bottled up. David Herson gives the free to Sligo. Everybody tightly covered just in front of her, so instead the Sligo wing-back Tara Breheny happy to recycle that ball, initially to Claire Dunn, then Ellen Maguire, and now Isabella Henry, who just needs to be careful here she doesn't take too much out of the ball. Support comes from Lisa Powell, centre back, trying to carry it clear. Sarah Curley from the Owen Rua club, very dynamic wing-back. Caoimhe Connor outside in support, and just ahead of her, if she needs her, is Leah Duffy. Instead elects to go back to Sarah Curley once more. Longford protecting the D. Sligo finds space on the right. Nicola Brennan inside to Leah Duffy, who's looked very lively, gets her snapshot in, and that has dropped just across the face of goal and over the bar. Well, the umpire took his time. Just a nice leisurely stroll to the white flag, and that is a really nice score from Leah Duffy, her second, and Sligo back to within 1.
Yeah, great score there by Leah Duffy. It kind of looked like Sligo had missed their chance there because they're annoying for the forwards, I suppose. You can see the half-backs are slowing down that ball before giving it in, but it worked out in the end.
Longford goal long. Again, there's a lot of space in front of a goal. This is Caoimhe Lohan looking for her second goal. Across came Claire Dunn to get the challenge in, but it looked like a foot block, and that's the way David Herson saw it. It's a penalty. Well, Caoimhe Lohan is causing real problems for Sligo, and when they go long and direct, Longford look very dangerous.
Yeah, it's clear Longford have done their homework on Sligo because they're pressing up in numbers. They see the weakness in the back line and I suppose in the goal kicks, and they're pressing up all players, and it's working for them.
So Caoimhe Lohan from Grattans has created this opportunity for Grace Shannon. She will be faced by the Sligo goalkeeper Ellen Maguire. Big moment. Good save. Shannon's kick went right down the middle. Ellen Maguire didn't flinch, and Longford missed the penalty, and that is a massive let-off for Sligo.
It's a great confidence boost for Ellen as well, because, you know, she's very young. She's been doing well for Sligo to come in this year, and hopefully she can drive on from there.
So now, can Sligo take inspiration from that save, or will Longford come again? Claude Lohan sneaking in around the back. She has support from Shannon, shoots, and Ellen Maguire to the rescue for the second time.
Yeah, 2 wasted chances there by Longford, especially that second one. It should be in the back of the net, like it was 3-on-2 really. Don't know where the Sligo defenders had gone.
Well, Sligo's defence is going to be an area of real concern for their manager, Anthony Brennan, you'd imagine. A lot of big gaps appearing in the first 9 minutes here. And were it not for the goalkeeper, Ellen Maguire, Longford would have a second goal on the board by now. A Sligo break at the other end. It's a goal chance for them, and it is smothered by Rianne McGrath, who came out very quickly to block the shot from Sinead Nyochtan.
It's really end-to-end game anyways.
This is Fumni Talaba trying to carry it clear for Longford. Well, goalmouth action at both ends, and good goalkeeping from Ellen Maguire and Rianne McGrath. We're in the 10th minute. Longford lead by a point. And certainly we can't have any complaints in terms of entertainment or goalmouth action.
No, definitely not. We're being kept on our toes here so far.
Long ball, this time looking for Camille Burke from Clongish. Breaks out to the right wing, plays a 1-2. A lot of movement ahead of her. Burke carries it towards goal, shoots on the run. And that shot just screwed off the outside of her boot and flies wide. Another missed chance for Longford.
Yeah, she probably had more time there than she realised it had opened up a bit for her, but yeah, just wide.
Longford, All-Ireland Junior champions back in 2016, taking on Sligo, All-Ireland Junior champions of 2006, looking to get back to the glory days, both of these teams. Later on in the summer, Longford, well, they will be competing in the All-Ireland Intermediate Championship. Sligo, they will be plying their trade in the Junior Championship, looking to get back at the first attempt after being relegated from Intermediate last season. This is a nice, neat build-up, and that's a terrific shot from Sarah Reynolds that flies in and over the bar. Wonderful score, beautifully created, and Sarah Reynolds from Giva paying her way in the forward line.
Absolutely, yeah. She was a big loss last week for Sligo, even just in terms of leadership. You know, she's been around the block for a long time and showed her quality there.
Well, credit to Sligo. They've wiped out that deficit since they conceded the goal in the 5th minute from Caoimhe Lohan. And 2 points in succession, one from Leah Duffy, the other from Sarah Reynolds, means the sides are level for the second time here at Cologne. In case you've just joined us, you're watching the Lidl Ladies National Football League Division 3 relegation battle between Longford and Sligo. And right now they couldn't be any closer as Sligo try and sweep downfield at pace. There was holding on, I think it was Megan McCormack, who was being held, spotted by David Herson. And after a slow start, Leah, this is much better from Sligo.
Yeah, definitely. They're really positive up front, and they're being patient on the ball. You know, they're not just taking snapshots, which I suppose Longford have had their few wide so far, so that might be the difference.
You'll just see there at the bottom of your picture, Cormac Reap, one of the Sligo coaching team, ran in to have a quick word with Nicola Brennan. Cormac, who managed Knockmore to a famous county senior title in Mayo in 2021, as meanwhile Sinead Nyochtan converts the free and Sligo are in front for the second time in the match. They've hit 3 points in a row, and while they did ride their luck down at the other end, they're deserving of the lead given their last 5 minutes of play. And now it's Longford's turn to try and play catch-up. Ella O'Reilly, support outside from Grace Shannon. She's the player that makes this Longford forward line tick, but that's a poor ball. Looking for the run of Caoimhe Lohan. Instead found only Lisa Powell. And Sligo will go long down this right-hand side, looking for the run of Megan McCormack from Eastern Harps. She's got Shauna McCormack for company. Support from Maeve Casserly, looking to thread it through towards the run inside of Leah Duffy. Ball cut out, though, by a Longford defender. And in the ensuing scramble, eventually David Herson lets it develop. He's going to hop the ball.
Yeah, good defending there by Grace Kenny, I think. She seemed to manage to keep Sligo quiet despite two of them. been in on top for.
So almost 9 minutes now since Longford's last score. That was the goal from Caoimhe Lohan. Since then, they've missed a penalty. Grace Shannon's effort saved as Sarah Reynolds goes flying through the Longford defence. Goal chance blocked somehow from the shot from Sinead Nyochtan. That Longford goal living a charmed life for the second time. And Longford get a free to help them lift the siege. But it was Sinead Nyochtan who got in behind. She certainly gave it everything in terms of power, but Longford managed to scramble it to safety.
Yeah, it was a great direct run as well coming in from Sarah Reynolds, and she's really showing her quality so far in this game.
Sarah Reynolds, a late inclusion in the Sligo attack. She's popped up here, there and everywhere in the first 14 minutes here in Killaloe. Sligo trying to keep Longford penned in. Sinead Regan from Drumcliff Ross's point spots the gap and goes right through it, still going, leaving 3 or 4 Longford defenders trailing in her wake. Player calling for it is Megan McCormack, who just sits in the pocket and pops that shot up and over the bar. That is now 4 points without reply for Sligo.
Yeah, great score, and it's good to get Megan McCormack on the scoreboard because it'll boost her confidence and hopefully more to come from her.
So the first 15 minutes have flown by. Longford 10 minutes and counting since they last scored, and that forward line, Leah, that looks so dangerous and so slick in the first 5 minutes, anything but now.
Yeah, it's like they're panicking on the ball. I think Sligo have somewhat sorted out either going zonally or man-to-man. They've decided between them what they're going to do, and I think Longford are panicking now on that ball.
This time Longford recycle in an effort to find a gap. This is a wonderful weaving run by Clodagh Lohan, who was pulled back eventually.
Definitely free, yeah.
Well, she has wheels, Clodagh Lohan, that's for sure. Beat 2 or 3 defenders on the outside and was still going before she was pulled back. Really good run.
Having to go solo there seem to be options are lacking.
Didn't have a whole lot options all right. Now Grace Shannon has one. Kicks it across to the unmarked Edel Sheehy, who drives that shot in and over the bar. And that is a first score for Longford since the 5th minute from Edel Sheehy from Mullinalaghta. 6 points, plays 1-2. And Edel Sheehy has just scored her first point of the game.
It's another lost kick out for Sligo. It's a real issue here so far.
Certainly is something of a recurring theme for the visitors in this first half. Their inability to secure possession from their own kick-out, but Longford have committed a technical foul there, over-carrying, spotted by David Herson. Unmarked player is Lisa Powell. Just crept forward there unnoticed by the Longford cover. Here's Maeve Casserly. Little decoy run made by Megan McCormack. Instead, Casserly gives it to Nicola Brennan inside towards Powell. And the Longford keeper, Rianne McGrath, had to be on her toes there, left her line very quickly.
Yeah, that's the second time now. She's been very quick off her line and, stopping 2 goal chances, really.
Sligo again just trying to play that ball in over the top and use the pace of the inside forward line. Longford looking to do likewise. Ball delivered by Ella O'Reilly to Clodagh Lohan. Faced by Isabella Henry, who does well. Ball breaks towards Caoimhe Lohan. Scramble is on close to the Sligo goal. Clodagh Lohan gets there first, very close to the end line. Free out for over-carrying, and really, really good work by the Sligo defence.
Yeah, they got in round because Clodagh Lohan is a real threat. In fairness, Sinead Regan, Isabella Henry and Claire Dunn just stopped her.
Well, Longford have been conceding some big scores in recent games. Kildare put up 4-16 on them, down, hit 4-13. So there are scores there, you'd imagine, for Sligo if they can just keep the pressure on. Sligo, for their part, they've been running a fairly tight ship at the back. Only conceded 8 points against Wexford in that narrow defeat, while Louth put 2-10 on the board in their 1-point win against the Yates County. Now a line ball on the far side to Sligo.
Great pass.
Somebody switches off in the Longford defence. Sinead Nyochtan it was who raced across, but beaten in the foot race by Fumni Talaba, the corner back, outside to Caoimhe McCormack. And into the centre and out of danger go Longford. Lauren Maguire from Carrick Edmond steps away from the tackle and just eats up the ground, galloping down the centre. Pressure now comes on the 45-metre line, but David Herson has spotted a foul, I think a foul on the ball, and another free goes against Longford. That's the second time that's happened when they've been in the midst of building an attack.
I think he was indicating back chat as well there, so I'm not sure what happened, but Longford are really struggling around the midfield area with that ball in. There's not too many options coming.
Certainly did give an indication, all right, that somebody had spoken out of turn. Not quite sure if that's why the free was given or that was an after event, but either way, Sligo get the call, and Caoimhe Connor sets them on the attack inside to Leah Duffy, the live wire corner forward. Lovely sidestep and a beautiful score from Leah Duffy, who's now kicked 3 points from play in the first 19 minutes.
Yeah, she's really finding her flair there. She's a quality player, and she's known for selling those dummies as well. So Longford are probably giving her too much space inside there.
Well, as the late great Micheál O'Hare used to say, she is certainly in the wholesale business. That sidestep, the dummy, bought by Longford again. And Leah Duffy filling her boots, 3 points and counting. Sligo lead by 2. This time it's Megan McGrath who's after the long ball.
Great
Just
defence
couldn't
there.
quite get there. Megan McCormick it was who was just beaten to it by the Longford defender. That was Emma Doris who got there. Emma Doris now trying to hold up. Nocton who goes low. Shot cannons off a Longford knee and back into play.
It's a
back
great
towards
save
Shauna
by,
McCormick.
Brilliant save again by Rianne, but on those chances, it's third real clear-cut goal chance for Sligo. I think they need to settle, pick a spot and place that ball.
Well, that's now a couple of clear-cut goal chances, as Leah said, that Sligo have had in this first half. None taken. Such a huge game for both teams. Their survival in Division 3, the prospect of being in Division 4 next season, could all hinge on this result in a big way. Ball played long to Clodagh Lohan. Just spills it though. Took her eye off the ball. Good scramble defence by Isabella Henry. As Sligo get that ball clear, or almost, Tara Brehony's hand pass is intercepted. Longford get a second bite. They cut through and they get the score. Well, it was Grace Shannon again who was quickest to react when that ball broke. And Sligo should really have cleared the danger.
Absolutely, yeah, they'd done so well in the run-up to it. But then it was just a simple hand pass that was easily intercepted, and the likes of Grace Shannon won't miss those chances.
So that's a second point for Grace Shannon. A handy one at that, and the gap is back to a single point. There's a Sligo player down, receiving attention as the play continues in the background. Sarah Reynolds gets on the ball, bottled up, over-carrying. And that's one thing in particular that David Herson has been very consistent and strong on, Leah.
There's definitely no extra steps being taken here today. So, both teams are being caught, but it's need to move that ball quicker.
Well, interestingly here, the game is continuing while the Sligo player is being treated. So Sligo down to 14 players out there on the field as Longford create the shooting chance. Drops short and cleared away by Ellen Maguire to Caoimhe Connor. Space for Caoimhe to work with down along this right-hand side as some spring sunshine sprays all over the field here in Killaloe. Onto the back of Maeve Casserly as she weaves her way upfield. Almost collided with her own teammate there, Sarah Curley, but Sarah managed to step out of her way. Now ball played forward by Casserly, just the way that Leah Duffy would have liked it. Duffy back to Casserly, the old 1-2, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that build-up or that finish from Sligo. Beautiful football.
Absolutely great score, and I suppose Maeve Casserly creating it, giving the ball in and getting back on it again, and I suppose you can't compete with that running player.
Well, Sligo picking up, Leah, where they left off in the last couple of games, and it was a point you were making beforehand. If you look at the form line coming in here, narrow defeats to Louth and Wexford in the last 2 games, beaten by a point. They have been building some momentum without getting the results.
Yeah, absolutely. And like Louth, they're 12 points, top of the table, and easily Sligo could have beat them that day. And I suppose what's promising is Sligo have been second half performers a lot in the game, so to start strong as well is a first for them.
Well, they have been on such a long losing streak as well. Sligo lost their intermediate championship games last summer to Laois and Tyrone. Didn't manage to get a win in the National League last season either. And you have to go way back to the summer of 21 for the last time many of these players won a competitive game. So what a boost to confidence it would be if they could come here and get the result, get their first win of this campaign and get them up and away and off the bottom of Division 3. But still a long way to go, and Longford not out of this by any means. They're within 2 points and they're on the ball and on the move.
Great move.
Camille Burke back as far as Emer O'Brien, and Emer O'Brien from the Slashers doesn't break stride and hammers that ball up and over the bar brilliantly. Longford issuing a reminder of what they're capable of, and it's a 1 point game again.
Yeah, great score, and similar enough to suppose Sligo's last score, that ball in and then the player continuing on the run, getting it back and putting it over the bar. I suppose good football.
So just a kick of the ball between them once more. Sligo go short with the kick out and manage to secure possession. Sarah Reynolds driving down along that left wing, hand passes it in towards Sinead Nyochtan from Owen Rua, was being held, spotted by David Herson. Sligo free, which they want to take quickly, but I think Megan McCormack just had to delay there for her target to make the move. Now takes the return pass, jinks through, and Megan McCormack is really enjoying herself out there. She and Leah Duffy, well, they're shooting on sight, their confidence is high, and Sligo lead by 2 again.
Yeah, great play from Megan. Very similar to them, both herself and Leah Duffy are having a great game out there, and they're definitely both confidence players, so you want them getting those scores early, because they're the type that'll soon start popping goals too.
So round about 5 minutes left in this first half, and as you can see, Sligo lead Longford by 9 points to 7 in old money, 9 points to 1-4 on the scoreboard. That goal coming in the 5th minute from the boot of Caoimhe Lohan for the home side. Fierce battle for possession over on the far wing between Grace Shannon and Claire Dunn.
It's a great battle between those two, and Claire Dunn is certainly getting involved today, as she always does.
Very little coming easy for either player. They're joined at the hip since this game started. Now Longford again managed to find a gap, looking for the goal scorer. Caoimhe Lohan gets it under control at the second time of asking, but good defensive work by Sarah Curley, who got tight and forced her wide. And eventually Lohan and Longford just ran out of room, ran out of road, and the chance was gone. Sligo likewise have lost the run of themselves on the way out there. Lisa Powell dispossessed by Camille Burke, but the referee felt it was an illegal dispossession.
Not sure about that one, but
soft free for Sligo, you'd have to say, as Sarah Curley drives that ball long, but across to cover comes Fumni Talaba again, who's been rock solid at right corner back.
She's brilliant. Her athleticism is Sligo are struggling to keep up with that.
Loves to get forward, Talaba, and that's a good ball into Caoimhe Lohan, who just is threatening to cut loose again down along this left wing into Clodagh Lohan. Clodagh Lohan, though, unable to wrong foot Claire Dunn, the DCU student who's been in outstanding form for college and county recently. Again, does what has to be done, and Sligo break up that attack and will now try and engineer something through their midfielder, Sinead Regan.
It's a great ball.
Just delivered the way that Sinead Nyochtan would have been hoping. Bounces up into her arms, carries it forward, looking for Megan McCormack, but that's a brilliant sleight of hand from Shauna McCormack to dispossess her, the fullback. Just waited for her moment, got the hand in.
Yeah, brilliant defending there by Shauna.
Loose clearance out of the Longford back line. It was aimed in the general direction of Laura Maguire, but instead won back by Nicola Brennan from Tourla Strand. Sinead Regan again. Solo was high, but she gets away with it. Support just behind her from Leah Duffy. Instead, Sinead Regan keeps going. Seems to be running down a blind alley, helped out by a teammate. And what way did David Herson see this? Because there was a coming together, as they say.
Yeah, it's a hard one to call, I'm not sure.
Well, eventually, hand goes up, free out to Longford.
Yeah, Sinead Regan should probably have given that ball off sooner. There was options behind, and she's forcing it a little.
So we're into the last couple of minutes of the first half here in Killaloe, in County Longford, in this Lidl Ladies National League Division 3 game. And it is Sligo setting the pace, leading by 2 points, with the half-time break just a few minutes away. Sinead Regan.
Score.
Sinead Regan
Brilliant.
strikes it right on the sweet spot. And for sheer work rate and industry and endeavour, she deserved it.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's what you want to see Sligo doing, because there's been a few times they've been overworking the ball inside, and the likes of Sinead, Sarah, they're well able to shoot from far out, so take your chances.
So Sligo, who only managed 7 points in the entire game against Wexford last weekend, have hit 10 already, and we haven't reached the halfway mark. I can only imagine Anthony Brennan and his management team, Leah, will be absolutely delighted with how things are going at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah, but I suppose no games are won in the first half, so he'll want to push on from this again. It's a great score.
Well, there's a reminder from Claude Lohan that Longford mean business, quick counter-attack, and we said it earlier, when Longford get that ball in early to Lohan, Burke, Sheehy and Shannon, they look a completely different team.
Absolutely. They started the half similar to the way they're finished it there with that quick ball in, and it's so effective. Sligo can't deal with it when they move that ball quickly.
The Lohans in particular, the Lohans from Grattans, they look very dangerous. This is one of them. This is Cueva, and Cueva Lohan with a chance to narrow the margin, and that shot flies high and wide. That was a really good chance.
Really, really good chance. And it came again from that ball being intercepted along the half-back line from Sligo. Just sometimes that the pass isn't on that they're taking, so they definitely need to be careful, because Longford won't miss too many of those chances.
Another short restart from Ellen Maguire. Sligo have certainly tweaked their kick-out strategy in the second quarter. They were having issues in the first quarter, but retaining much more of them now.
The short option is definitely working better, because if you look at Sligo, like Sarah Curley there on the ball, height and something they have a lot of, so that short ball, like Sinead Regan, will get it on it all day and carry it.
So we're into added time at the end of this first half. We won't have a whole pile. There goes the half-time whistle from David Herson, and what an enjoyable first half it's been. Longford coming flying out of the blocks with that 5th minute goal from Cueva Lohan to lead 1-1 to 2 points. But Sligo, slowly and surely, they've played themselves into contention, played themselves into this game, and 9 points from play from Sligo. In fact, 8 points from play from Sligo in that first half, Leah, is one of the reasons why they're ahead at the break. Yeah,
definitely. I think one of the key things that has been the difference between Longford and Sligo has been Sligo's excellent shot selection. I suppose they're not, they've had one or two wides just, whereas Longford have had a few. So yeah, that's kind of been the difference. Really promising stuff. Didn't get a goal, probably had a few chances to get one, but as they say, take your points and the goals will come, I suppose.
So there are the thoughts of Leah Kelly. It's half-time here in Killaloe in County Longford. That's the state of play in this crucial, must-win Division 3 game between Longford and Sligo. Sligo in front by 2 points, but still you get the sense a lot of twists and turns yet to come. We'll be back with full second-half commentary and coverage very shortly.
We were told the game was over before we'd even started. We were told our bodies weren't made for it. It wasn't our time to play. We played anyway. And together we played like there was no tomorrow. And they told us that was fine. You can play. You're good enough. And thought that was good enough for us. It wasn't. We are relentless. The game isn't over until we say it's over. Until we get everything we've given everything for. Until we level the playing field.
Lidl, proud supporters of ladies Gaelic football.
You still haven't gone full Lidl. Go on, make big savings like this lot.
Pea nuggets.
Excuse me?
You'd like them pea nuggets.
Once again?
Pea nuggets. They're vegan.
Nugget?
Yeah.
I like prawns, but how do you cook them?
Oh, there's loads of ways.
Can I microwave them?
No.
Join in and go full Lidl this year.
Did you get milk?
Shop without compromise and pay less.
And you're very welcome back to Kilo, the second half of this Lidl Ladies National League Division 3 game about to get underway. By the looks of things, Sligo have made one change at half-time. Ellie McDermott from Shamrock Gales has come into the defence. At least one change. And it looks like Ciara Scanlon from St. Nathan's, the county senior champions, is the player who's made way. So, Leah Kelly, tell us a little more. Ellie McDermott into the Sligo full back line.
Yeah, Ellie McDermott. She's young but an absolutely brilliant defender. She's just actually come back from injury. She broke her nose, unfortunately. So I think Ciara picked up a knock there early in the first half. So it's probably to do with that that change has been made.
So Sligo forced to dig into their reserves a little earlier than they would have liked. Without today the likes of Tara Phillips and Leanne Taylor, as well as the lady beside me, Leah Kelly, and as I mentioned earlier, Orla Nyochtan unavailable today due to illness as well. So the Sligo panel depleted, but as you can see, the players that are out there, they've made quite a decent fist of things so far, and they're 2 points ahead heading into this second half as Longford try to hit the ground running, and they have done just that. That's a lovely score from Clodagh Lohan. Well, she's been very, very lively. 1-4 against Offaly a few weeks ago, Leah, and she's been one of the players that has stood out all through this game.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been times when she's been on her own really up there in the Longford forward line, but she just has it all. You know, she's the ability to kick off both feet, and her speed is something else.
Certainly one of the names for the notebook coming away from this game today is Clodagh Lohan, who along with Quiva and Grace Shannon have been Longford's best forwards, and you'd imagine if they're going to get back into this game or maybe even pick up their second win of the campaign, it will be on the back of the Lohans' exploits.
Great defending there.
So little between them though, and that is illustrated again in that battle for possession that's won by Quiva McCormack to Camille Burke.
Camille, you can see, is moving a bit sheepishly there, and heavy strapping on the knee. I think it looks to be affecting her more this half than second half anyways. So.
Certainly doesn't seem to be moving smoothly, all right, the Longford number 14. We'll keep an eye on that. She's trying to play on through the pain barrier by the looks of things, as over on the far side, it's that woman, Clodagh Lohan, who again is causing Sligo's defence some issues, and she's won a free, and they're finding it very difficult to get to grips with her. Claire Dunn and company, they've got their hands full.
Yeah, and you can see there when she gets close to that goal with the driving run, it's causing more and more Sligo players to drop to her, which is creating then free plays for Longford. So they're getting great joy out of Clodagh.
So a free in and a chance for Grace Shannon to tie up this game and really set things up nicely for the rest of this second half. But Grace Shannon was very casual with that free, just holds her hand up and apologises, just didn't hit it with any conviction, and she let Sligo off the hook.
Unusual wide for Grace. I suppose one of the players we have to mention for Longford that they're missing is Michelle Farrell, and you'd have backed her on those frees. Obviously moved to Canada, but she's a massive loss for Longford.
Yeah, Michelle Farrell really did light up the club championship last season. Big loss, as Leah said, to the Longford forward line, and in her absence they are struggling for scores here as Sligo make their way forward again. Nice pop pass by Sarah Reynolds. She was looking for the run of Nicola Brennan. They were just on slightly different wavelengths though, and Longford have won the ball back through Lauren Maguire.
It's a great ball
to the aforementioned Clodagh Lohan. Well, she's doing as she pleases, and this time she sets up Grace Shannon, and the Sligo defence marked absent. Goal chance, and Camille Burke, well, she shows no ill effects of that knee injury to slot that to the back of the net. Longford's second goal comes in the 4th minute of the second half.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant score from Longford. Great move. Of course, Clodagh Lohan involved in it, and then a great finish from Camille, and she picked her spot and put it just there. No chance for Ellen and goals to save that one.
So 2-6 plays 10 points, and the advantage has swung back in Longford's direction again. Scored a goal against Louth, 2 against Offaly, but they had been struggling to hit the net recently against Kildare and Down. Drew blanks on both occasions. But how precious could these 2 goals turn out to be today from Quiva Lohan and now Camille Burke? But Sligo will be so disappointed, Leah. Once Longford broke through there, they had a 3-on-1, nobody at home, and very little protection for Ella Maguire.
Yeah, absolutely. Leah Duffy in space here now.
Chance for Leah Duffy at the other end, and Leah Duffy has managed to manufacture and engineer a free for herself, because this time it was the Longford backline who were exposed 1-on-1, and Duffy gets what she came for, a scoring chance, and the ball handed to Sinead Nyochtan, the Sligo captain.
Yeah, perfectly in front of the post for her.
So that leaves 1 point between them. And the longer this game goes on, 25 minutes to go, you just get the sense it's going to go all the way to the wire, isn't it?
Absolutely. I suppose there's so much on the line here for both teams. Like, you know, they're both in very, very similar situations. You know, Sligo yet to play Offaly, I suppose, where Longford have gotten their points from. So you can see both teams are really, really putting it all in here. And Longford have definitely come out a spirited side in the second half.
Well, this looks like a serious injury to the Longford player, and we are going to have a stoppage by the looks of things. Really, really unfortunate. An innocuous challenge,
Yeah.
but as you know, Leah, from experience, that's sometimes how these injuries can happen.
Absolutely, yeah. It looks like her ankle there she's holding, but it doesn't look good.
So play stopped, and could be stopped for some while or some time, possibly, if the Longford player needs to receive medical attention. Referee David Herson is just having a word with Sligo's Nicola Brennan.
Looks like Nikki will be seeing a sin bin, I think.
So the referee is speaking to Nicola Brennan. The Longford management and medical team are just checking on their player. Well, this is very, very unfortunate. We're just a little over 5 minutes into the second half and a stoppage. And I suppose it just gives us a chance, Leah, for a few moments to reflect. And we might even take a look at that league table as well in a moment when we get a chance. Because, as we said at the outset, so much riding on this game for Longford and Sligo today. Because nobody obviously wants to drop to Division 4. But that's the reality of it. For whichever team finishes bottom in a few weeks' time, they will be operating in Division 4 next season.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose there's so many similarities at the minute between the likes of Longford and Sligo. Longford having new management this year, and Sligo obviously a team in transition. So there's a lot on the line here today.
Well, thankfully, the Longford player who was injured a moment ago, and we're just trying to put a name and a number on her for you, she's now sitting up and will be stretchered off by the looks of things. It seems to be an ankle injury of some sort, and she is in quite a bit of discomfort, but thankfully, by the looks of things, Leah, not as serious as it looked initially.
Yeah, thankfully she's up. I suppose I didn't really see what actually happened or how she fell, but she looked to be in an awful lot of pain. But it's good to see, I suppose, the stretcher not being needed, because it did look initially like it was going to be a lot more serious, but you don't want to see any player going off injured.
Well, it's Caoimhe Lohan, I think, the first half goal scorer for Longford, who, as you can see there, is being assisted from the field. As Leah mentioned, thankfully the stretcher not needed or further medical attention. It did look initially like quite a nasty ankle injury, and it is, but just not as serious, hopefully, as it initially did appear. So that's an unfortunate end to the afternoon for Caoimhe Lohan. Let's hope she's back on her feet again sooner rather than later. As the game restarts, stop for about 3 minutes or so, give or take, and away we go with Longford in possession.
Yeah, it looks like Maria Kelleher, who was down to start, has come in replacement there for...
Number 26, Kate Shannon, is also out there for Longford, as you can see just at the bottom of your picture. So the Longford manager, Alan Mullen, just using these first few minutes of the second half to shake things up a little. As Leah mentioned, Maria Kelleher is on in place of Caoimhe Lohan, and also Kate Shannon from Longford Slashers into the Longford team.
Another change there for Sligo. Actually, Kate Hosey has come on in wing forward, so there's a few changes happened there.
So Kate Hosey from Curry is indeed into the Sligo team as well. And after that brief stoppage, both teams will try and settle into some sort of a rhythm and a pattern. Longford leading by a point thanks to that goal early in the second half from Camille Burke. Sligo find themselves a point behind, having led at half-time by 2. Player on the ball here for Longford is Ella O'Reilly as the home side play keep ball. Caoimhe McCormack, the captain, heading across the 45-metre line. Grace Shannon was there if needed. Instead, the ball is recycled back to Maria Kelleher. First touch for the number 3 from Clongish. Now, Grace Shannon clips this forward in towards the moving target. Clodagh Lohan has support outside from Grace Shannon again. A couple of Sligo defenders just blocking her path to goal. Ball popped out by Caoimhe Lohan to Clodagh Lohan. And that's really well taken by Ella O'Reilly. Whistle sounds, free to Longford. That was patient and precise, and in the end they will get the shot at goal.
Yeah, good play from Longford. Sometimes in the first half they were a bit rash with their decisions and kind of forcing it, but similar enough to what Sligo were doing in the first half. Now they're playing that ball around, waiting, win the free, but it looks like that one will go wide. Well,
that's the second time in the second half Grace Shannon has just turned away, looking disappointed with herself. Again, she had options.
Yeah,
and just lacked any sort of real conviction, a lot like the earlier miss.
Absolutely. I think she boosted confidence. She should try maybe going short for 1 or 2 of those and build from there.
So a chance now for Sligo to engineer something over on that right-hand side. Sarah Curley. Referee is playing an advantage. He has his arm in the air, David Herson, watching to see if Sinead Regan can make it count. Again, she just glides across the ground, gets the ball away from Funmi Talaba in as far as Megan McCormack, and that is a foul and a free inside the D. Well, there's no doubt that when Sligo get the ball into the hands of Leah Duffy and Megan McCormack, that's when they look at their most dangerous.
Absolutely, because Megan and Leah are both, from a training even, they're great for winning a free. Even if they're in a situation where they won't get much else out of it, a free like this, a scoreable free for Sinead Naughton is just as good.
So all eyes on Sinead Naughton, and that is not the greatest free she's ever struck. Just swung a leg at it, really.
I suppose complacency from both sides has kind of started to creep in since that break, really, in play.
Yeah, just focus and concentration just seemed to be lacking there from Sinead Naughton. So reliable and accurate from the frees in the first half. So that will go down as another missed opportunity for the visitors as Naughton gets on the ball again, trying to make amends. Player waiting for the pass to arrive is Sinead Regan. Gives it to Sarah Reynolds. Moving forward in a little pod, and inside the 20-metre line they go. Sinead Regan waiting for the return pass, turns into heavy traffic right in front of the referee. Didn't like the manner of the challenge. Sligo get the free in. They're getting their running game going now. Slight breeze beginning to pick up. It's against Sligo in the second half. It will suit the running game.
Absolutely, yeah. Both these decisions, I think, could have gone either way. Could have been taken for overcarrying, but see Sligo have changed up Maeve on frees, but dropped short.
Maeve Casserly taking over from Sinead Naughton, and same result. 2 missed frees in a row for Sligo. They still trail by 1 as Funmi Talaba gets on the ball for Longford, the right corner back from Mostrom. Trying to accelerate away from the tackles. Pressure being applied by Nicola Brennan, daughter of the Sligo manager Anthony Brennan, as the ball is played forward by Grace Shannon. Good ball, pulling the strings in the Longford attack. Finds Camille Burke.
Absolutely.
Camille Burke wrapped up, and it is Claire Dunn. What a performance she's put in. What a smooth operator she is in that Sligo full back line.
She's a nightmare to have on you. Like, she just never ever gives up, and even when you think she's no hope of getting the ball, she somehow wins it back. Her work rate is phenomenal.
Certainly the full back from St. Farnans is keeping the show on the road back there on the Sligo full back line at times, as Sarah Curley carries it clear initially, and now it's Sinead Regan again from Drumcliff Ross's Point. Gets through a huge amount of work. She's got a support run from Sarah Reynolds, back to Regan again. This is where Sligo have looked good in this second half, when they power down that central channel. Ball popped to Leah Duffy, and another one for Duffy. 4 points, all from play for the corner forward, and they put that on a plate for her.
Yeah, brilliant score there. You saw exactly what Sinead Regan and Sarah Reynolds do best, those straight runs, you know. Once you give that ball off early and go again, it's really hard for the defenders to stop, and Leah Duffy will pop it from there all day.
So the sides all square, 2-6 to 12 points, 12 points apiece, whatever way you dice it up. 15 minutes into the second half here in Killoe, and this Lidl Ladies National League Division 3 game is balanced on a knife edge. Sarah Reynolds, again they come down the centre. Longford trying to defend the D. Fast hands from Nicola Brennan to Sinead Nyochton. Now Sarah Reynolds. Sligo throw that ball around. In after it is Kate Hosey. But referee had already blown the whistle. And again, I see him signalling for back chat or somebody talking out of turn. And you think they would have learned at this stage.
Yeah, I'm not sure because I don't think there could have been any foul physically there, so it must be for back chats. It's really an area you don't want to be giving away frees for something like that, especially in a tight game like this. Silly free to give away.
As the saying goes, somebody was talking when they should have been listening. That's going by the hand movements, the hand gestures of the referee there, as Longford and Fumni Talaba go forward. Unorthodox kick pass, but works out in the end, as Camille Burke, the goal scorer, holds off Claire Dunn. Dunn was fouling. Camille Burke has got the free. And that's another battle that we've been watching with great interest all through, Leah, that battle between Claire Dunn and Camille Burke.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been brilliant. Two of them, I suppose, are quality players, but have to mention there, Fumni, all the way up in the corner forward spot. She's been everywhere on this pitch and just a serious player.
Yes, certainly a powerful performance from the Longford defender, and that is a lovely free stroked over the bar by Kate Shannon, the Longford substitute. It's enough to edge the home side back in front.
Yeah,
we've passed the three-quarter stage.
It's positive for Longford as well because it comes from after two wides in their last freeze, so if they can sort that one out, it's a good way to get scores.
So Longford lead by a single point again. Sligo have possession. Claire Dunn pops it forward towards Maeve Casserly. Casserly did well there to first of all get out in front, then win her free. Nobody loose in front of her.
Yeah, it's unusual positionally. Maeve Casserly, a left footer, playing on that side. Not sure about it, but she's found joy.
Certainly has worked her way into the game and has been a really good link player for Sligo. As again, they don't bother going right or left, they come right down the middle. Lisa Powell to Megan McCormick. This is a shooting chance for Kate Hoey, and that has flown wide of the goal. It was a good build-up, but Kate Hosey just rushed the shot in the end.
Yeah, it was a bit of a snapshot. I suppose Sligo are kind of clocking up the wides now too, something that I was praising them for not having in the first half, but good pressure from Longford.
Rianne McGrath looking for Grace Shannon, the kick-out target. Just slides it along the floor and picked up by Clodagh Lohan. Her first instinct is to take on Isabella Henry, but Henry sticks to her task, does really well to dispossess the corner forward and then move it clear. They are having quite the tussle in that corner as the Sligo substitute Ellie McDermott comes forward, looking to play it through for Nicola Brennan. Excellent defence by Longford.
Yeah, even O'Brien is she's really covering every blade of grass out there, and great physical player. A good presence for Longford there in the midfield.
Well, you can see why Sligo are continuing to come down the middle in those little pods, because they are creating chances, but surely it's only a matter of time before Longford figure out the game plan and begin to shut off those avenues, because it's predictable, if
Absolutely.
nothing else.
Yeah, definitely. And it's unusual. They don't need to go down the middle every time, because they do have obviously those corner forwards and wide players who will get on that ball in space. Brilliant by Claire again.
It seems as though Sligo are intent against the breeze here to carry that ball, and they've more or less abandoned the kicking game as Sinead Regan again solos down the centre, support outside from Kate Hosey, and once again the move breaks down. I think Longford have finally cottoned on to the Sligo tactic, and that was Maria Keller who came across that time to intercept. It's almost as if they're aware at this stage the ball will not be kicked long, or is unlikely to be kicked long, and now Longford will try and work something up at the other end themselves. Clodagh Lohan goes by the defender, sucks in two more, spins away from Claire Dunn, but it was Lisa Powell, I think, who just tracked the run every step of the way and managed in the end to prevent Clodagh Lohan from doing any damage.
Yeah, you'd feel for Clodagh Lohan though, up there. She's kind of doing it alone. If you look at the Longford setup right now, they've nearly 8-9 players in their own half. You know, they're winning the ball back, but they're not then being able to drive up with it.
Clodagh Lohan very isolated, certainly in the last 5 or 6 minutes in the Longford attack. Right now she's the only Longford player inside the Sligo 45-metre line as Longford pop a quick free, but David Herson, I think, is indicating that he had signalled against Longford. It was never a Longford free. Certainly there was a breakdown in communications, I think, by the looks of things.
Yeah, you can kind of see legs is an issue at the minute for Longford. Like, they're just not getting forward with that ball. Like, Clodagh, they had the ball up in their own half and there's only 2 Longford players with it, so I don't know if they ones on the bench that can come on and rejuvenate it, but it's definitely an issue they need to look at.
Certainly Longford may be a point in front, but they're starting to hit the wall, as Leah said there. Question is, what have Sligo got left in the tank? Tara Breheny,
good run,
skips by the challenge of Kate Shannon. Still Tara Breheny looking to tie it up, and Tara Breheny from St Mary's, whose father Tommy led Sligo to the Connacht Senior Championship title back in 2007, has kicked the equaliser here with 9 minutes to go.
Brilliant score from Tara. She is a live wire. Her pace is something else, and good to see her having the confidence to come forward. Now she's on it again.
2-7 to 13 points in Division 3 of the Lidl Ladies National League. Sligo looking for their first victory in almost 2 years of competitive football against a Longford team who have one win in this campaign, and one more might just be enough to guarantee them Division 3 league football in 2024. It could also more or less condemn Sligo to life in Division 4 if the next couple of games don't go their way. Longford are in here. Kate Shannon makes an angle, and Kate Shannon kicks the score.
Yeah, she's been good since she came on. Kate Shannon, good option up there, and second point for her.
2 for Kate Shannon, first from play, and that score wipes out the Sligo effort from Tara Breheny immediately as subs are pitched in on the far side of the field. 8 minutes to go, and as you said, physically, psychologically, every way now the pressure starting to tell and take its toll.
You can even hear the crowd are getting louder here because there's so much on the line. Rachel O'Brien has come on now. If you want someone for goals, Rachel is definitely someone. She's an eye for the goal, so I can see why Anthony would bring her in this situation, because obviously Sligo a point down, might be looking at that.
Megan McCormack is the player who's been replaced. As Leah said, Rachel O'Brien from St Farnans is on for the last 7 or 8 minutes. Longford with the lead and with possession, and guarding it now with their lives as Emer O'Brien from Longford Slashers, Leinster and All-Ireland Intermediate Club champions last season. In fact, they became the first Longford club to win an All-Ireland final and the first Longford club to win a competitive game at Croke Park when they won that All-Ireland last season. Here's one of their players, Kate Shannon, weaving her way through. She's got a teammate unmarked on the far side, takes the return pass as Longford play the ball around and Sligo chase shadows. Here's Camille Burke. She's going to wind up. That will go dead away to the right. Still a 1 point game, but you could see what they were thinking.
Absolutely, yeah. You can see there's nothing more demoralising as when you're supposed to losing a game and the team are switching it constantly and you're running over and back. So Longford are being very tactical there, tiring out Sligo defenders.
Sligo, they're just unable to get their hands on the ball as Ellen Maguire from Owen Rua needed to be precise with that kick out, and she was. Found Claire Dunn. Ball played into the centre to Ellie McDermott. as Sligo managed to transition out of their own half through Sinead Regan, still full of running. Support just ahead of her from Sarah Reynolds. Longford's defence trying to scramble back into position. Sarah Reynolds is taken down on the run by the Longford defender, Maria Kelleher, who I think was content perhaps to give away the free there. Sligo had numbers, could have been in for a goal chance.
Absolutely. It's one of those instances you'd kind of hope the pass would be given that, you know, second or two earlier, because those runners had made the run, but Sinead opts to go short here.
Sinead Nyochton gives it to Leah Duffy. Well, she's been red hot all through this game. Leah Duffy shoots and Leah Duffy scores, and the sides are level with 5.5 minutes to go. And if you wanted any player, any Sligo player, just in that moment, Leah, with the ball in their hands, it would have been Leah Duffy.
Absolutely. She's a brilliant shooter, and really good decision there from Sinead Nyochton to go short. The last few she's had have obviously didn't go over, so good confidence builder.
5 minutes to go. Here's Leah Duffy again. Shoots, blocked. Nothing doing in terms of a free. This is Maeve Casserly, and Sligo hit the front. Duffy again, a central figure. Maeve Casserly it is, though, who kicks the lead score.
Yeah, great score. And Maeve, I mentioned her being over that side. She's really been moving around a lot more, gotten into the game, and put Sligo ahead.
You got her, Rachel. You got her.
So Sligo hit the front in the 26th minute of the second half, but there are more scores in this game, that's for sure. Longford will feel they have got what it takes to get a couple more and perhaps get out of here with a win, a precious win. Sligo will feel they can conjure up the scores needed to get the victory that they want so badly. But the clock is telling us 4 minutes of normal time to play.
I suppose this is where Sligo now need to do the reverse back to Longford. You know, don't be kicking that ball away. Keep it. You know, work the hand pass.
Lisa Powell from Eastern Harps, driving hard out of the Sligo defence, gives it forward to Ellie McDermott. Powell again. This is Sinead Nyochton. Nice build-up play. Chance, shooting chance for Rachel O'Brien, and Rachel O'Brien makes no mistake. There was no stopping that shot or O'Brien as she built up ahead of steam, and Sligo lead by 2 points, 2 in a row now from Casserly and O'Brien to extend the lead. 3 in a row in total when you throw in the one from Leah Duffy as well.
Yeah, brilliant play from Sligo. That hand pass has been so effective today, and the likes of Sarah Reynolds, Sinead Regan, those runs they make, you know, it's so hard for the defender to stop, and you know, Rachel is such a powerful forward, and you'd back her on those shots.
Well, since Camille Burke's goal in the 3rd minute of the second half, Sligo have outscored Longford by 6 points to 2. They've really kicked on, and they're finishing with quite a flourish. It's Leah Duffy who plays it forward into Sinead Nyochton. Nyochton manages to lose the defender, and Sinead Nyochton fires another one up and over the bar for Sligo. They've now hit 4 points in a row. They've hit 5 of the last 6 scores. They've got their second wind in style.
Absolutely. They're just they're like different teams to look at now. They're shooting with confidence. You know, they're not forcing that shot when it's not on. It's a brilliant play from Sligo, and it's going to be hard for Longford now to turn the tide.
So Sligo, a team that are so long on the road without winning a game of football, well, they're playing with supreme confidence in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Longford have hit the wall. Sligo attacking in waves. That was Sarah Curley. Back to Sinead Regan, who has run herself into the ground, but Sinead Regan finds the energy from somewhere to steer over another Sligo point. They've gone 4 in front with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's brilliant play from Sligo, and just again, it's the confidence they're playing with now. And I suppose of course, the team that's been lacking a lot of confidence over the last year, 2 years, with the wins not coming too often, but it's great to see.
Well, what a third quarter and fourth quarter in particular Sligo have put in here. They look to be in dire straits when Camille Burke scored that Longford goal in the 3rd minute of the second half. But since then, they have rolled their sleeves up. They've got stuck in, and the likes of Lisa Powell, Sinead Regan, Leah Duffy, Sinead Nyochton, and so many more, they have just taken this on. They've taken the game to Longford. And right now, with a minute of normal time to play, it is Sligo's game to lose. Longford, who haven't scored since the 22nd minute. That was an effort from Kate Shannon. And since then, it has been all Sligo.
Nicky
5 in a row.
Heading for the corner flag here.
Nicola Brennan, indeed she is, heading for the scoreboard end of the ground. Now cuts inside. This is Tara Breheny. Has options, support from Sinead Regan. What a shift she's put in, the Sligo number 9.
Absolutely brilliant. She's been everywhere, and that's what you get with Sinead. Another player who stepped away from the county team last year, but her presence this year is really making a difference. She stands up when it matters.
Well, Sligo, they've certainly been on top for the bulk of the last quarter, but Longford just haven't been the same team since they lost Caoimhe Lohan to that ankle injury in the 6th minute of the second half. It just seemed to upset their flow, upset their rhythm. She's been such a huge loss and she was carried off. But with this game now in added time, Sligo playing keep ball, running down the clock and playing very composed football.
Absolutely. I think one of the things for Longford is their intensity kind of came in patches, and they're not able to maintain that for a game. So if you're looking at them there, and they do look really, really tired, not able to keep up with the pace. But for Sligo to put 18 points on the scoreboard, the forwards have been questioned a lot lately, I suppose by outsiders and that, but 18 points is brilliant coming from a game.
Well, it's the most they've scored in any of their league games this season. Put 5 points up against Clare, 9 against Down, 2-9 against Louth, and just 7 last weekend against Wexford. But today, the floodgates have really opened as referee David Herson gives Longford a free. But it's a goal or nothing now. To have any chance of salvaging something for this game, Longford simply have to score a goal in the next minute or so.
They still only have, 3 players up there. You know, it's a tough task.
Strong sun shining into the eyes of the Longford substitute Ella Duggan as she goes forward. Ball driven
Great
in long
pass
by Shannon. Here's Kate Shannon, who shoots for the point. It clips the post and flies over. So that's one back for Longford. Have they enough time to win the kick out and work an equalising goal? You'd have to wonder.
Yeah, they really need to press up on this kick. But in fairness to Sligo, it is an issue. It is an issue they've worked on, these kick-outs. Well,
we will have quite a chunk of added time because of the stoppage for the injury to Caoimhe Lohan. So there is time for Longford. Question is, though, what can they do with it? Grace Shannon runs into a couple of Sligo tacklers. Back as far as Ella O'Reilly. Will they try and keep the scoreboard ticking over? Are they going to go for goal? Shannon plays it through as far as Camille Burke. Heavy collision.
Yeah.
Ball lost in the tackle and taken away by Sligo.
Brilliant play by Lisa Powell. She just put her body on the line there and stopped a real goal scoring chance there.
We're in the 3rd minute of added time. This is Claire Dunn. Maeve Casserly. And across to Tara Breheny. Still full of running, the Sligo wing back. Takes Kate Shannon on the outside and just accelerates through the gap. Really, really good run. Breheny caught late by Talaba. She played the pass. Talaba again tangles with Leah Duffy. Sligo are going to get a free in here. And credit where it's due, as you mentioned, Leah, it all came from that crucial interception from Lisa Powell.
Yeah, Lisa's a real selfless player. You know, she will work all game and look for no praise for it, and her tackle back there made a real difference. And then fair play to Tara Breheny, she's still running like it could be the first minute of the game. So,
well, 5 points from play rather, for Leah Duffy in this game. She could not have done much more, neither could Sinead Yachten, and that may turn out to be the insurance score from the Sligo captain, who holds her nerve and kicks Sligo 4 points ahead in the 4th minute of stoppage time.
Yeah, great score from Sinead. The confidence is clearly back up, and nice reassurance point to put 2 scores between this team. And here comes Sinead Regan again. Great
Sinead
ball.
Regan still going strong, manages to find the target. The target was Nicola Brennan. Ball shoveled forward by Rachel O'Brien. Longford defenders just chasing shadows. This is Sarah Reynolds. Reynolds looking to apply the glass, and Sarah Reynolds has managed to squeeze that inside the post and over the bar, and Sligo are 5 points in front, and they are finishing in real style.
Absolutely, and it's really promising as well to see there's been so many different goal point takers for Sligo, which going into their last few games is really promising, because again, like, the scores have been an issue in games before.
Well, the play stopped here to allow attention for Fumni Talaba, the Longford corner back. Referee David Hurston is going to let the play continue. We're in the 5th minute of stoppage time. There couldn't be a whole lot left to play or say at this stage. Sligo power forward, and there goes the full-time whistle. Well, the sound you can hear in the background from a Sligo perspective is relief and joy all mixed in together. They have finally got their first win of this Division 3 league campaign, and how crucial it could turn out to be. Longford beaten at home. They are now sucked right back in to the relegation battle with 2 rounds still to play in Division 3. But just to put it in perspective, Leah, Sligo, without a win since the summer of 2021, this is a massive boost to this group of players.
Absolutely. Delighted for the girls. They've stuck at it. I had mentioned beforehand about, yes, on paper they had lost all the games coming up to this, but there was a form being created. They're very close defeats, and you saw the heart, the passion, players who just did not give up. Absolutely delighted for them to get that win there. And I think definitely gives them a chance to get themselves out of this relegation battle with, I suppose, Offaly to come. I know Kildare will be a tough one, but it's definitely more promising stuff for Sligo.
Leah, I'll get your selection for player of the match in just a second, but I'm just looking at the stats, the second half stats. In the last half an hour, Sligo outscored Longford 9 points to 3. Whatever about anything else, physical conditioning, not a problem.
No, absolutely not. Credit to Sligo. Clearly the work has been put in. And what's really promising as well from Sligo is there was issues identified during the game, like the kickouts at the beginning was clearly an issue, but it was something that they changed throughout the game, made a massive difference. They opted for that short kick out because they're very good when in that running game using the hand pass. Really made a difference.
So who's your player of the match?
Oh, it's a really tough one. There's been so many, obviously the likes of Sinead Naughton put in a great game, Leah Duffy, but I think just for sheer work rate I'm going to have to go with Sinead Regan. She covered every inch of that pitch, so that's who my player for today would be.
So Sinead Regan, a deserving player of the match. The Drumcliff Ross's Point midfielder scored a point but did so much more, put in such a power-packed performance. She is Leah Kelly's selection. That's it from us from Longford on a day when Sligo get their Division 3 campaign up and running at long last in round 5. My thanks to James on camera, Rory at the control desk, and all of you for watching as well. Hopefully you enjoyed the game as much as we did. Leah Kelly doing a terrific job on co-commentary. And just to finish then, final scoreline in the Lidl Ladies National League. It finished Sligo 20 points, Longford 2 goals and 9.